In the spring of 2007, 3-year-old Madeleine McCann disappeared from her family's holiday apartment in Praia da Luz, Portugal, on the evening of May 3. Her sudden disappearance quickly became one of the most widely covered missing person cases in recent history, drawing intense international media attention and sparking global debates about child safety, parental responsibility, and the effectiveness of law enforcement. Despite extensive searches and investigations, Madeleine's fate remains unknown, and her story continues to captivate and concern people around the world. Madeleine was born on the 12th of May, 2003, in Leicester, England, to Kate and Jerry McCann. She was described as a bright, affectionate, and curious child who loved spending time with her twin siblings, Sean and Emily. In April 2007, the family traveled to Praia da Luz in Portugal's Algarve region for a holiday. The trip was intended as a relaxing break, a chance for quality family time, and an opportunity for the children to enjoy the sun, sand, and sea. The McCanns rented an apartment in a holiday complex that was part of a resort designed to cater to families. On the evening of the 3rd of May 2007, Madeleine was asleep in the apartment with her younger siblings. Kate and Jerry were dining with friends at a nearby tapas restaurant, situated about 50 meters from the apartment. The parents took turns checking on their children every half hour. According to their account, when Kate went to check on the children around 10 p.m., she discovered that Madeleine was missing. The apartment's sliding glass door was slightly open, suggesting a potential abduction. Panic quickly set in, and what was initially a local concern soon escalated into an international crisis. Portuguese police immediately launched an investigation. The initial response was criticized for various reasons, including delays in securing the apartment as a crime scene, which potentially allowed valuable forensic evidence to be lost. Detectives questioned the McCanns and their friends extensively, and media coverage in Portugal and the UK intensified rapidly. Within days, the case made headlines worldwide. News outlets followed every development, broadcasting appeals from the McCanns and images of Madeleine across multiple platforms. The search for Madeleine included both local and international efforts. Portuguese authorities enlisted the help of search and rescue teams, sniffer dogs, and volunteers. Simultaneously, the McCanns organized their own private searches and public appeals. One of the most iconic images from this period was a large-scale poster of Madeleine, highlighting her blonde hair, blue eyes, and distinctive features. The campaign Find Madeleine became a global phenomenon, fueled by media coverage, celebrity endorsements, and donations from people hoping to assist in the search. Despite these efforts, progress in the investigation was slow. Initial theories suggested that Madeleine had been abducted, potentially by someone familiar with the area or the resort. However, over time, alternative hypotheses emerged, including the possibility that she had wandered off and suffered an accident, or that her parents were involved, either intentionally or accidentally. These theories created tension between the Portuguese police and the McCanns, with the media often framing the narrative in sensationalist terms. In September 2007, the investigation took a controversial turn when the Portuguese police named the McCanns as arguidos, a legal status in Portugal roughly equivalent to being a formal suspect. This designation led to intense scrutiny of the family's actions on the night of Madeleine's disappearance. The McCanns vehemently denied any involvement and maintained that they were innocent, emphasizing that they had been caring parents who were victims of a terrible crime. After months of investigation, the Portuguese authorities eventually dropped the formal suspicion in July 2008 due to insufficient evidence. While the Portuguese investigation stagnated, the case continued to receive attention in the United Kingdom. Scotland Yard launched a review in 2011 called Operation Grange, which sought to reassess the evidence, interview new witnesses, and explore previously overlooked leads. This renewed effort reflected the enduring public interest in Madeleine's disappearance and the persistent hope that new technology or information could finally provide answers. Operation Grange involved a multi-agency team and focused on potential abduction scenarios, examining both local suspects in Portugal and international criminal networks. Over the years, the investigation produced a range of potential leads and suspects, yet no definitive breakthrough occurred. Various sightings of Madeleine were reported in countries around the world, from Europe to Africa, but none could be confirmed. Experts in child abduction and missing person cases debated the likelihood of her being alive and emphasized the difficulties of recovering a child after so much time had passed. Despite the lack of closure, the McCanns remained publicly committed to finding their daughter, continuing appeals and media campaigns to keep the case in the public eye. The media played a crucial role in shaping public perception of the case. Coverage often focused on two main narratives: the devoted parents desperately seeking their child and the sensational possibility of parental involvement. British tabloids in particular were accused of publishing unverified information and speculation, which fueled controversy and led to several high-profile libel cases. Some journalists and commentators criticized the intense media attention, arguing that it hindered the investigation by overwhelming Portuguese authorities and confusing witnesses. Nevertheless, the global attention ensured that Madeleine's disappearance remained a topic of public concern and discourse for years. In 2020, German authorities announced that they had identified a prime suspect in the case. The suspect, a convicted German sex offender, was reportedly in Portugal at the time of Madeleine's disappearance. German investigators believe that he may have been responsible for her abduction and possibly her death. While this development brought new hope for resolution, it also highlighted the ongoing challenges in the investigation. The suspect had a history of violent offenses, but linking him conclusively to Madeleine's disappearance proved difficult due to the passage of time, lack of direct evidence, and the international complexity of the case. Over the years, the McCanns have tirelessly campaigned to raise awareness about missing children. They created the Madeleine Fund, dedicated to supporting efforts to find missing children globally. The fund has played a key role in organizing searches, launching media campaigns, and working with law enforcement to improve child protection and abduction prevention. In public appearances, Kate and Jerry have remained determined and composed, expressing gratitude for the support they've received while continuing to seek justice for their daughter. Madeleine McCann's disappearance has left a lasting mark on law enforcement, media practices, and public awareness. The case revealed weaknesses in child safety during family holidays and emphasized the need for swift investigative response.
Let's start. Last week, some very positive news from Scotland Yard. They said that they believe there's a reasonable chance of Madeleine still being alive, and they identified nearly 200 leads that were worth following up. What was your reaction to that very positive news?
Well, I guess we've always said the first point you made there. We know there's a real possibility that Madeleine can still be found alive. But I guess for us it was important to hear the police saying that after they've reviewed the evidence, or at least part of the way through the evidence.
I think it's excellent, and it's the most hopeful I think we've been since the early days, to be honest, Martin. And at this point we know there's a tremendous resource, a very experienced team reviewing all the information, and a committed team with Detective Chief Inspector Redwoods leading, who really want to find Madeleine and what happened. So if anyone does have information, evidence, this is the time to come forward, and we really are hopeful.
The disappearance of Madeleine McCann is not just the family's tragedy, but a case that came to represent much larger issues. On the 3rd of May 2007, 3-year-old Madeleine vanished from her family's holiday apartment in Praia da Luz, Portugal, sparking one of the most publicized missing person investigations in modern history. Her face was broadcast across the world, transforming her story into a symbol of fear, hope, and unanswered questions. The case raised urgent debates about child safety, parental responsibility, law enforcement cooperation, and the powerful role of the media. Early mistakes, such as delays in securing the crime scene and poor coordination between Portuguese and British authorities, left lasting gaps in the investigation. At the same time, families everywhere felt the emotional weight of how quickly a child could disappear, even in seemingly safe surroundings. The McCanns' determination to find their daughter kept the case in the public eye, but it also exposed them to relentless scrutiny and criticism. Their campaign, while driven by grief, highlighted the struggle of balancing privacy with the need for awareness. Nearly 2 decades later, Madeleine's fate remains unknown. Despite investigations in Portugal, the UK, and Germany, no definitive answers have emerged. Yet the case endures, reflecting society's struggle to confront tragedy while holding on to hope. The world still waits for truth, justice, and closure in one of the most haunting mysteries of our time.